Could the world's most famous crooner actually be driven to a breakdown by a leading lady's perfume? Why did Frank Sinatra once burn a $600 tuxedo rather than send it to the dry cleaners? And is it possible that his brutal assessments of Hollywood's most glamorous women, Shelley Winters, Marilyn Monroe, and Ava Gardner, revealed a pathological need for control rather than actual hygiene issues? Tonight, we expose the secret nasal nightmare list of the chairman of the board, the perfectionist's nose. Frank Sinatra was a man who ruled his world with mechanical precision. According to his longtime valet, Frank was a control freak who changed his clothes 3 times a day and showered both before and after sex. His personal cologne collection was reportedly worth more than most people's homes. But this sensitivity wasn't just a quirk. As the research notes, the man's nose wasn't just sensitive, it ruled his life, and it ruined his relationships. Behind closed doors, usually around 2 a.m. with the scotch flowing freely, Sinatra would hold court with his inner circle. There, he would launch into brutal assessments of his lovers. He would kiss a leading lady's hand on stage, but as a member of his entourage recalled, he would later spend an hour in a hotel room, ranting about her repulsive stench while scrubbing his hands raw.
A psychiatrist, one child went to an orthodontist, the other one did
5. Shelley Winters. At number 5 is the wild, loud, and unpredictable Shelley Winters. She exploded into Sinatra's life in 1950, representing everything he wasn't. While Sinatra pressed his pants while wearing them, Winters famously rolled out of bed and into whatever clothes littered her floor. A makeup artist who worked with both stars explained that Frank was terrified of Shell's chaotic energy. Her apartment allegedly looked like a tornado hit a thrift shop and smelled of old soup and hairspray. Sinatra described kissing her as licking an ashtray wrapped in a wet dog. Interestingly, Winters later admitted she deliberately provoked him by eating the messiest food possible with her fingers because someone needed to ruffle him. As Sinatra allegedly told his valet, neither the fling nor the air freshener lasted. Before we get to the woman Sinatra claimed smelled like war, we have to ask, was it really the women who smelled? Or was Sinatra using his nose as a weapon of emotional self-defense?
Girls should call any woman on their dirty name, even if he's your husband. But if
4. Zsa Zsa Gabor. If Winters was too natural, Zsa Zsa Gabor was synthetic chemical overload. Sinatra complained to his bandmates that he didn't know if he was dating a woman or walking through a duty-free store. She reportedly bathed in Chanel and reapplied every 20 minutes. His personal assistant recalled Frank returning from dates with bloodshot eyes and a handkerchief pressed permanently to his nose. This was the relationship that led Sinatra to burn a $600 tuxedo. He claimed the dry cleaner couldn't kill the scent, which he said survived like a cockroach after nuclear winter. He eventually ended the relationship after she spritzed perfume on his pillow. A chef who worked in Sinatra's home noted that Frank would even send back plates of food claiming they were contaminated with Zsa Zsa.
baby, come to baby do.
3. Judy Garland. With Judy Garland, the assessment became tragic. Sinatra loved her talent but described her as a nervous breakdown in heels. He claimed she carried that stress in her sweat. According to his longtime road manager, Frank was running from the same demons as Garland, and his complaints about her smell, which he categorized as 40% pharmaceutical, 30% fear, 20% booze, and 10% talent, were actually reflections of his own fear. In Garland, Sinatra saw a mirror of his own addictions to pills and alcohol. While she surrendered to her chaos, Sinatra channeled his into obsessive cleanliness. His inability to separate the person from the sensory experience created a barrier he could never overcome. Coming up next, the ultimate sex symbol, who Sinatra claimed smelled like a department store an hour before closing. How did the world's most desired woman end up on a hygiene blacklist?
He's up there watering the plants. I promised the Kaufmans I would. They don't even have a hose. So
2. Marilyn Monroe. Shocks Ma. New York to find Marilyn Monroe at number 2. In 1961, during their brief affair, Sinatra told his inner circle that she was a sensory disappointment. He expected vanilla and sex, but instead found long days, panic sweats, and melting makeup. His longtime physician observed that Frank couldn't forgive Marilyn for being mortal. He fixated on the pharmacy of pills exuding through her pores. To Sinatra, the perfectly normal human scent she produced shattered the illusion of her visual perfection. He described it as a sweet rot he couldn't ignore, proving that he could only love the image, never the reality.
Oh, he's wonderful.
1. Ava Gardner. The top spot belongs to the love of his life, Ava Gardner. Sinatra told friends that Ava smelled like war and was all gin, cigarettes, and fury. His longtime road manager explained that Ava was Frank's addiction, and his obsession with her scent was actually about his helplessness around her. He famously remarked that kissing Ava was like licking an ashtray while being punched in the heart. Yet he craved her more than oxygen. His longtime psychiatrist noted that Sinatra never resolved Ava, and he used these physical fixations to manage his emotional vulnerability. She remained at the top of the list not because her hygiene was objectively worse, but because her scent had branded him permanently. As we look at this list, the truest stink doesn't come from these 5 legendary actresses. According to a female studio executive, it emanates from the toxic combination of unchecked male power and a system that protected men like him. Sinatra existed in an accountability-free zone where nobody ever told Frank no. His inner circle of men validated his warped perceptions to protect his self-image. A longtime member of his entourage admitted, "We all laughed, even when we knew it was absurd." Meanwhile, these women were working 16-hour days under hot lights and corseted into impossible gowns. As a costume designer noted, the miracle is that they appeared so flawless under such inhuman conditions. Sinatra was never subjected to the same scrutiny. No one cataloged his cigarette breath or the alcohol seeping through his pores. This double standard allowed him to define these women through his sensory judgments, while they had no opportunity for equal assessment. Ultimately, Frank Sinatra's attempt to reduce these women to their physical characteristics failed. A film historian points out that Sinatra was actually documenting his own inability to see women as fully human. History has judged Shelley Winters, Zsa Zsa Gabor, Judy Garland, Marilyn Monroe, and Ava Gardner by their talent, cultural impact, and enduring artistic legacies. Winters won 2 Oscars. Garland remains a vocal powerhouse. Monroe is a global icon. Their work transcends the petty judgments of a man who was emotionally adolescent. In the court of history, their artistic legacies render such defenses unnecessary. While Sinatra sang about flying to the moon, he couldn't handle the earthy realities of actual intimacy. In the end, these 5 women thoroughly transcend the olfactory blacklist, proving that talent renders the final verdict.